I literally don't recognize you without your jacket on. I was like, who is this
Oh. Hey, how you doing, Ruby?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Not too bad. Just getting on duty.
Do you need anything? Have any questions? You're good?
Yeah. Well, actually, now that you mention it,
Okay. Should I take it back?
I have to remember. Were you at the? Oh shit! I'm yelling. Hey, how you doing, Maxwell?
Oh.
I'm up at the I'm chatting with Ruby right now by the double seats.
Okay, did you need to talk to me before I go off duty in a few minutes?
No, we can
I'm just
wait.
working on some reports.
Up to you. Unless you want in on this, up to
when
you.
Really. When you're done, do you need me to come talk to you with Ruby or after Ruby? I don't.
Both is fine. Yeah, it's up to you.
Where are you? In the front of the PD?
I'm in the double chair hallway at the lockers.
Double. Yep. Who the fuck says double chair hall? Okay, double chair.
I don't know. I was trying to figure out what to call this place. Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Yep. All right. I'm just like recollecting a little bit since what do you call it? I wasn't on duty yesterday. Maybe not even the day before that. So there's two things I wanted to bring up. Give me a second. It was.
That's okay.
Okay. Chat. What were the two things? One was the Raven thing, and then there was one other thing that I'm trying to remember what the hell it was.
Yes. Hello.
You guys are gonna hate me after this.
Okay. You don't remember?
No, I remember now.
Okay.
Now I remember how bad it was.
Oh God.
Okay. The raid
incident.
And I'm about to make an allegation here. And it's gonna sound really bad. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of almost don't want to give it because I feel like it's gonna be really shitty, the outcome. Mostly, I just don't want the heat. I'm gonna be honest. I like to go out there on patrol, you know, this, that, and the third, but I can't not bring this up. And I know that there might be some disclaimer. Brian Knight. I know there's probably gonna be a lot of heat. There might be disagreements with what I'm about to say. But I do feel strongly about this position, and but I also don't necessarily want to argue it with the individuals. So here we go. The raid on CYPRESS was made exceptionally on bad faith, and it was so fucking triggering. Because I genuinely believe that either A, it was done in malice, or number two, it might be a.
I don't think you were on duty. It was Friday.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I wasn't around. Okay.
Sorry. Or it might be due to a severe lack of basic police understanding. So
did you read the search warrant?
Oh, I didn't have to read it even. It was that bad. Well, so I'll say this is I did. Sorry, I did, but the problem is even worse than that. I attached to a call with that stemmed off the situation. So when I had attached there was like a vehicle called out, and I did put my statement in there. But there was like vehicles called out, and there was a primary target. The target kind of looked like a hobo, which turned out to be the Bo individual. You know, I was on that shit, right? Like I'm gonna back whoever it is, listen to them. I didn't really say much on radio, but eventually, what ended up happening was, but we lost eyes on Bo, and very shortly thereafter, and I mean shortly in that, like, it maybe 5 minutes had gone by or something. I can't say exactly, but one of the vehicles that was involved driven by Luciano, is now at the Little Soul Apartments. Bo is there now. He is the target. And I know he's the target because I kept underlining that is a target because we were losing eyes, gaining eyes, etc., etc. And there was a lot of like vehicles involved, right? It was one of those like hot potato chases. But what ended up happening was the main target, aka Bo, who had the shit. I don't remember what the shit was. Like, was it a jewelry store? Who fucking knows? Maybe it was a whatever it was stemming from. But he had the shit. He was a main target, right? He had the stuff. He had the class 2 and things. And we knew that going into it. So I'm maintaining, like, you know, my focus is get Bo. Anyways, they end up getting to like Del Perro Pier, and I hear on the radio, oh, and there they go again. Luciano's getting on the jet ski. And they're like, all right. And it was like they gave up. Whoever it was, that was Ventura. He gave up. It was one of these. Like, I get it. I fucking hate jet skis. It's fucking cringy, in my opinion. Right? And that's what everybody, like, whatever, you get on a fucking jet ski, we get it. But we just decided not to chase it. And I was very alarmed in that moment. And I made a note to myself. I'm like, what do you mean we're just going to let them get on the jet ski and dip? Like, fucking Luciano's going to have all the shit on him. I've been around long enough to know, like, that's how you hand off packages. Like, you don't just drop someone off on a fucking jet ski because that one guy's getting away. Yeah, maybe they go get another swap vehicle, but you give that person all the shit. And so I made a note to myself. I'm like, that's weird. Like, we're just fucking letting him off. And so now Bo's on the vehicle. And I said to myself, I'm like, oh, cool. So Bo just gave all the shit to Luciano, and I was going to get rid of it all. And so then this chase goes, and eventually they get into a supercar, and it's Luciano and I think Clark Mason. And we sort of kind of lose eyes on this. And Error 1 and I do not give up. Everyone sort of silently fucks off. I don't. I try to track them with Error 1. I wish I remember who was in Error 1, but they were a champion. I end up finding him again over at Chumanch Pier. It's now Luciano, Clark Mason, and Harry Brown dressed oddly. You know, I heard his voice. It was Luciano. Can't articulate it, but I know it was him. And fine, and I cannot get attached units. No one wants to fucking attach, even though these guys apparently did a bunch of crazy shit, right? Maybe even shot cops. Fast forward, I find out there's a raid. Fast forward, I learned that the raid is written by Ventura, and that it is because Bo allegedly might have stashed his shit. And at the end of that warrant is written that we believe in good faith, blah, blah, blah. No, that is literally bad faith. You cannot, as a law enforcement officer, say, in good faith, this guy stashed his shit. It's actually disgusting.
When I read the search warrant, when I heard we were going to CYPRESS, I was a little bit shocked because we've never really done something like that without actual visual of the person going into a building or something like that, right? And the fact is, visual was broken. Now, I'm going to fast forward to last night when an officer came up to me and said that he is writing a search warrant because he saw Wayne Freeman at a cash exchange with a Class 2 in his hand. And then they saw Wayne Freeman later on at the end of the chase, and he did not have the Class 2. I said, you are going to write a search warrant? I have a feeling there's this chatter that's going on now that you've brought it up that way, that people think that they can write a search warrant on something they saw, and now they don't see it. It's like,
exactly.
That is not how we run.
It would make sense.
You got to build a foundation. If you could show Wayne with the Class 2 multiple times in the last 30 days being arrested with the Class 2, then sure, maybe we could get a raid on him. Saying like we did with Aubrey Webster. But this one specifically is just saying in this picture he had a Class 2 in hand.
Yes.
This doesn't say anything about his houses or his recent arrests with Class 2s and why they think it's there. This is really strange about the foundation's really strange.
It is. I would, if Wayne Freeman, let's say, had a weapon and he was the only individual and we lost eyes briefly and then rearrested him, I would personally, I would back a warrant like that, because it's about logic, right? And logically, if this individual is, the thing is now gone, not in his possession, and he's the only one, sure, because now logically, the whole like throw it in the garbage thing, I don't think that's relevant. That's not that's not a reasonable assertion. But in a singular person, it's a reasonable assertion for them to place it in a vehicle, place it in a car, because it's not reasonable to get rid of it. But in the midst of a 4, 5, 6 criminal chase in which he is in a car with somebody else, it is beyond reasonable to give the shit to another individual. How do we know that? Because officer training, it happens all the time. And to leave that out of the warrant and then actually stamp it and say, in good faith, we believe it, stash it in the warrant, that's fucking dog shit.
Wait,
that is fucking dog shit.
What?
This is a plain lie. This is either he's lying or this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Why did the judge sign this?
Well, I would say it's not the judge's fault because they're relying on our statements. The judge doesn't know what happened.
But this says which is located. So they believe that he put it in the property at Cypress Flats, South Shambles, which is located in the exact direction Bummer fled. Hello? So because he ran towards his house, we think he put it in his house? That's crazy.
Actually reasonable. Let's not get distracted.
How is that not the judge's fault too?
It's not the judge.
They would never sign that for me.
Because it's kind of like what's bigger, like an elephant or Pluto?
Yeah, but even so, there's nothing backing, like nothing. There's no prior history or anything listed in here. Just pictures of him with a class 2 in his hand. That's it.
See, the warrant we did yesterday for Wayne, I specifically said that wasn't enough, and I said a pattern has to be established, and it was. So he went ahead and found.
No, the warrant is reasonable the way that it's written. That's a huge distraction.
With class 2s and explosive. So at least a pattern was set. But this previous warrant for CYPRESS, I don't see a pattern. I don't see anything.
Yeah, I'm.
We lost visual of him, right?
Yeah,
it doesn't in here say anything about how they never lost visual. Nowhere in here does it say they ever had visual the entire time either. I don't understand.
It's leaving out evidence now, and feel free to disagree with me on this, but the warrant itself, the way that it's written, I could understand a judge signing it, and I'm okay with that simply because the way that it is written infers that Bo had a weapon. Right? He was seen with a weapon. He's documented what weapon. And he goes towards allegedly his house, right? The judges don't know those little details that we know, right? And we're saying in good faith, we believe he's thrown it in there. The judge has to trust our word on that, right? And that's what they did. The problem is that it is leaving out the fact that that's not all that happened. What happened was that he's now in his Luciano's vehicle. He is given has now the opportunity to hand off that weapon, put it in the glove box. Luciano was arrested, arrested, and therefore those details mitigate in other words, those other options that could have occurred are not thrown out, and we're saying it's irrelevant, and we're hiding that from the judge. Like it was so bad. And I backed it. And to be clear, like when I went to that raid, I was like, Sab was there, etc. They were protesting. I told them to leave. I backed it in the sense that obviously I'm not going to go and pull a, Hydra situation where I go start crying in the hallways and start telling the criminals this raid is bad and this and that. In fact, Sab, it came up to me and I held strong because it would be inappropriate and professional for me to start talking about this publicly. But I will tell you that at the end of that raid happening, I went 42 and I'm like, this guy should be fired. Like I was on that energy. because either he doesn't know what he's doing.
Sorry.
Or something. I don't know. Like, if it was somebody else, sure, but he fucking let the guy go on the boat. He knew that happened. I mean, unless he fucking smoked some crack before the rest of the incident took place. You get what I'm saying? Like how do you knew that they were in the car. You knew that Luciana got on the boat. So how the fuck are you going to leave that off the detail?
See, I trusted that the warrant was all good to go. And then I thought, after we did it, I thought, I'm going to have a look at it. And I read it and I was like, what? Because if other officers read this and think this is the standard, they're going to start thinking that they can, someone hands me a Molotov. Well, now you're going to, because they want to hand it in. Are you going to raid me?
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
I may be going overboard with the firing statement, but I was really fucking pissed, and I'm still pretty pissed about it. Like, it's bad. Like, we literally just, that's pure lies and obfuscation of fact on a warrant. And then the worst is stating, in good faith, we believe this. Fucking hell no. That's not literally not what good faith means. Unless you're, just came out of Parsons and we hired you. Then maybe.
I think Parsons is closed. Someone set it on fire.
Yeah.
What is this map? So we can draw maps with arrows halfway across the city and say, this is the way he went towards his house, which is...
Stop it, please. Please stop.
I'm sorry. I am not showing anybody this. This is not happening.
So,
Yeah,
the warrant itself is a bit of a
submitted as
distraction.
Evidence?
Which bit?
Depending on your rank, you can see certain things, and I don't know why these pictures weren't submitted as actual evidence.
These are such shitty idols.
I don't know. There's a mixture of things going on here. I think, if anything, after reading this warrant, and speaking to the officer last night, I wanted to, I suppose, safeguard us. Because as I said, I don't want an officer to read that warrant and to start taking the actual bare minimum and not actually proving a point with probable cause and establishing patterns. And that's why when they first came to me and they said, I want to put a warrant out for this one guy who had a gun and now doesn't have a gun, I said, no, you need to establish a pattern, and he actually did. I think we just need to be very careful signing warrants. I'm going to talk to the other sergeants and double check with them as well.
What happens with this? Like,
are they going to challenge it? I mean, they can.
How are they? Yeah, but how are they going to challenge? They're never going to know. Well, maybe they will.
They're never yet. Yeah,
he's going to get charged.
Yes.
Yeah.
They can challenge the warrant. Yep.
Yeah, everybody can challenge.
I'm gonna be honest.
Go to the courts.
Yeah. Yep. But then, as far as the bad, I don't think they would know it wasn't bad. I mean, maybe they would.
That's the problem, right?
Do they know? How would they know?
How
it's
would
in
they
bad
know?
Faith?
How would we know that someone just did this idiotic shit, right? Like, I mean, where is the line between this and planting a gun, right? Obviously, the other one's very obvious. This one is just absolute degeneracy. Like, it's. I don't understand is how the fuck he doesn't know this. Like, that's scary to me, right?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really see him doing a lot of those search warrants and stuff. So maybe it's just I don't know. I don't know. I can't speak on that. But this is a really weird situation.
You do know it was signed by a sergeant.
Wait, how is it? A sergeant? Wait, I'm confused now.
Yeah, so
wasn't it written by a lieutenant?
Yes, but in good faith, and so we don't, step on each other's toes. If I read a warrant, I would make sure that someone from command would go over it, double check it, and sign off on it.
Right. Does it look like it's missing anything? Does it seem like it makes sense? Is the PC there? Double check and make sure it looks nice, because we don't want it challenged.
Oh,
right?
I see. Yeah. But even the person who signed it, and I want to reestablish this, is The warrant is a distraction because the warrant itself, while it is the warrant, the way that it is written is not the end of the world. The problem is that it's missing key details. So therefore, the reader of that may be on 50-50 on it. And if someone signed it, I'm not going to lose sleep. A judge signs it, I'm not going to lose sleep because it's still based on, you know, how much are you going to, it's not the end of the world, that warrant. I can understand why people might get confused or may disagree with it. And, you know, it's reasonable to disagree with it. But the problem is evidence was left out. These are misstatements of what occurred, especially when the writer of it knew full well that this stuff could have been handed off. Right. And that's like, you know, it's like mitigating it's mitigating evidence, or what's the word I'm looking for? It's
hiding. It is. It's using not all of the chips in your game, right?
Yeah. It's like saying like someone threw like a gun over a fence and then you know, or you know, you saw something thrown and you mentioned you didn't see something thrown and oh my God, they didn't have a gun anymore. It might be in their house. Like, no, fuck out of here.
I don't even know what to say to that. What about the I don't know.
Well, that's the other thing. I wanted to put that all on blast on there, but I'm like, I don't want this to turn into some shit, right? Like Knight comes on duty and just starts like saying shit. Cause I know how that goes. I've been through it in the past. So I want to bring it up to you guys, and then like, you know, I'm down for whatever, but
people doing things in bad faith, no matter what department, gives us all a bad name. It doesn't matter what department you're in. It gives the cops a bad name, period. Bad faith is a huge fucking no. Huge. Like making mistakes is one thing, but bad faith is just a whole nother level. I
don't see a warrant up, so I'm assuming they're going to put it on the docket.
Oh, the raid already happened, right?
No, they have to push his charges. Yeah.
Oh, the receipt and stuff. There should be. I mean, this is
That's
like
what
2
I'm
days
saying.
ago.
I don't see a warrant up for the receipt yet. I wonder if they're just.
Don't they have 3 days to put it on the docket?
You've got 4. Yeah. No. First of all, the search and I would like to work on the search and seizure legislation. But anyway, it's worded a little wonky. It says you have 14 days to complete everything.
Yeah, it means the property can be locked down for up to 2 weeks, which is a little much, but yeah. I'm looking at the original report where the incident happened.
At least if they put it on the docket instead of doing a warrant, they could, you know, contest it. I think from my point of view, I don't want any of our officers doing that without some kind of pattern or way more explanation.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I agree with that. I think if there's like a detective or someone that knows what the hell they're doing, starting to take those other routes is reasonable, right? Other routes, I don't mean this necessarily, but more creative approaches, let's call it, where there's like enough trust to know that they know what they're doing and it doesn't blow up in their face or they end up doing some.
Was Bo at the raid?
No, I think it was Alfonso and CJ came up.
Why is it?
So this is illegal because
it's a night
raid is no.
They didn't request a night raid. If he wasn't there,
oh
then
no, apologize. He was on
Okay.
hold. I apologize. He was on hold. 24-hour investigative hold.
So why was he processed for the original incident but not for the raid stuff? They sent him up and put him on a hold. Like they processed his original charges before the raid.
Wait, what?
For the incident that he was arrested on.
They shouldn't have done that.
No, that's why it got written into legislation. This is something that, oh my God, no way.
They should have attached this to the charges of what they found in the house.
Yeah. It goes against the due process.
This is what, yeah. says process, so it looks like they build them and like sit them up on a hold, but after
maybe they took a plea deal. But if citizens of the state of San Andreas shall not be processed twice for the same crime, the only exception is delayed death. Blah 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 blah. Yep, it's a common trap. I used to argue with a dumb fuck all the time about it, to the point where it had to get written down.
Ooh, he was processed for his charges today, but pled not guilty.
Oh, so he was processed now.
He was on, okay, so wait. Bummer was originally sent on a 24-hour hold as officers needed time to conduct a raid on his property, but later released off his hold with time served at the conclusion of the raid. Then Bo was processed for his charges today, but pled not guilty. Wait. But he wasn't charged for the stuff in the house yet?
Maybe they forgot to hit process. I wish there was a timestamp, when we hit those buttons.
No, it's not. It's a report. It's not even promoted to an incident yet. The raid receipt, if that's where they're going to process it.
It's on an incident.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Incident 15797. He was charged.
Okay.
For 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 class 2s, a Desert Eagle.
Sorry, what was the number?
Pharmaceuticals. Yeah, he was 15797.
Secondary possession of pharmaceuticals, possession of security firm equipment. Oof. Okay, and this, it doesn't say what time, but the history on the report shows 5:24 at 1:41 p.m.
Maybe they didn't mark both this process till afterwards. I mean, it's hard to know.
Yeah.
Right?
So maybe they did the raid.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they did the raid and then. Okay.
Yeah, because all I know was he was on hold in Bolingbrook when we did it. Listen, I wasn't late. I was just there like you. Night. They said we're doing a raid. We said okay, we're here to help, and they just went for it.
Which I think that makes sense, right? We're assuming everything's done right. I just like I said, I was on that radio and I genuinely was like, why are we letting Luciano go on the boat? He's gonna have all the shit. And then lo and behold, there's a raid, and the raid completely disregards that. And it's just mind blowing to me. Like it's the same. It's like like someone does a jewelry store or whatever, right? And they go and do that jump from Daily Globe up to the highway and then drive off. And lo and behold, no one's got the loot on them, right? Or guns or whatever. And it's like, man, I wonder what happened. Well, obviously the person they let out has all the stuff. But instead, if you leave that all out, it's like, oh yeah, we VCB'd on them for 2 minutes. Got to raid all their properties.
That's what I don't understand. Wait, so this makes it seem that we can raid people because we think they went towards their house and they had AKs and what?
Yeah, well, as long as you ignore the fact that there was opportunities, dumping a gun can be reasonable if we looked at the area, right? And if we missed it, we missed it. You're now doing it in good faith. But if you know and acknowledged that they were in a vehicle with somebody else and that individual got out and got in a different vehicle, you can't leave that out. You can't, because it's no longer reasonable that they stashed it. I don't know. It's cooked. It really is. And I don't know where to put it. Like, either this guy just wanted to fuck these guys over, or he's a dumb fuck. I don't know which of the two. And I don't know where the in-between is. I don't.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't even like this guy, but they really need to hire Robin. This is crazy. Who knows if they will? I mean, they pled not guilty, right? So I don't know. I'm still in shock of how that got signed.
Why?
It's how you spin it, right?
They drew an arrow halfway across the city towards his house and said he went in the direction of.
But
you want to know my thoughts on it? Because I don't think he's necessarily wrong in writing a search warrant for that, right? The guy had an AK. He was photographed with an AK, and then he was apprehended not much longer without the AK, right?
Yeah.
It's reasonable. that he would have tossed it somewhere. He could either have tossed it, he could have stashed somewhere. What I would like was a timeline. How long between him
Agreed.
Getting away and him being found again? Because the timeline is important. 2 minutes, he couldn't have gotten far. That must be close. 10 minutes, he could be all the way up in fucking Polito.
Right. But what about the pattern?
The fact, you don't need a pattern. You do not.
Yeah.
If
Opal's 100% right with what she's saying.
I think the fact that they also only put the warehouse on there is bad, because say it was 10 minutes, right? Say they did lose visual for 10 minutes.
Wait, they didn't put the vehicles?
Search warrants. No, they only put that. Not his apartment, not his vehicles. And so say it was 10 minutes that we did not see him, right? And that 10 minutes, he could have put that gun in his warehouse, in his apartment, in his vehicle.
Yep.
But nothing in the search warrant articulates why we believe it to be in the warehouse, other than the fact that he went in the general direction of it, which is bad.
I'm 1,000% in agreement with you, Opal. Like,
well, the search warrant I denied last night, there was an hour and a half difference in seeing the person with the gun, and I said that's why absolutely not.
God.
However, if you can establish a pattern, right?
Yeah.
You don't really need a pattern if someone provenly had a gun, right?
An hour and a half later?
Yeah. If they're no longer in possession of it. I wrote a huge fucking search warrant on Forehead, where I spent hours in VR on scenes where he had gotten away but left blood behind, and I did so much forensic work to figure out which casings
we appreciate you, but the level of standing comes across as extremely cringe to everybody. Just relax, buddy.
Which is the pattern, though.
With that he has been arrested multiple times with a class 2 that do not.
You're like an inch away from a ban.
It's not about the pattern. It's about the fact that he was provenly in possession of a firearm and was apprehended without that firearm. You can articulate that. You just have to do a good job at it.
Okay, so I'm just afraid that we're setting a precedent for some people. For example, someone saw Wayne Freeman, right? He was doing some kind of crime with a class 2. An hour and a half later, at a completely different situation, he was arrested. He was caught, right? But not because of the first situation, because of something later on, something different. And because he didn't have the class 2 on his possession, they want to do a search warrant.
Yeah, what about that is wrong?
I don't.
Wow.
I think it's important. I think we're getting distracted, to be honest. Because this is a good conversation, right? But for this particular incident, someone lied or is a dumb fuck, and you get what I'm saying? Like the whether there's a timeline or pattern and all these things, very very important things to discuss. But like that's not what happened here. Someone lied on that report, or they don't know what RS and PC is. You know. And I don't know what to do. Like, I mean, do I go to the marshals? Do I write what actually happened? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like that.
Withholding evidence is a big no-no, Knight.
So.
What is a lot of people involved in this and only a few statements. I guess there's a decent amount, but yeah, I think this is
I mean, you could have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
Skip.
Oh.
Oof.
Wait,
I don't think that's going to be productive. Am I going to go to a lieutenant and be like, are you dumb? Like, I mean, there's no professional way to have this conversation.
Talking about Ventura?
Yes, there's no professional way. I would literally be challenging his ability to police. Remember, like, once again, like in his own words, he wrote, this is.
I hear he likes to send emails. Maybe you can email him.
I don't know. I think sometimes it's worth attempting a conversation, even if it's just, to ask what their perspective is and why they did something. I understand you don't want to, but I don't know.
I think y'all both know how that conversation is going to go and understand why I don't want to speak with them on this matter, because I am a subordinate, right?
In that case, then I suppose, Maxwell, would you be willing to speak to Ventura, captain to captain?
Yeah. Oh, he's a captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because I think it's worth a conversation first before saying, yeah, Knight, we back you, go to the marshals.
Yeah, no, I was using kind of an extreme. I'm sort of lost because what I see here is corruption or ineptitude.
So the differences of what you saw and what's here kind of needs to be put on paper so that it's laid out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna have to talk to Turner about it. And
how do I do that without somebody reading it while mid-writing and
write a private report and share it to me, and I will. That's the only way when high command's involved to deal with these types of situations.
Yeah, just share it with Maxwell.
Are you guys ready for the next one after this? Because it's just as bad.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Doing right now?
There's no way this day gets crazier.
I'm trying to bring some hilarity to an otherwise depressing situation.
It's already been a crazy ass day night. What else is going on?
Bell and Gravy called 78s on radio. Was it yesterday or the day before? I don't know. I'm awake too much. Over at the pier just south of Polito, north of the one by Hookies, like just north of Hookies.
Okay.
And what was radioed in was that they believe someone was about to get executed. And good news is it's not as bad as the warrant. So, so when we got there, so the radio comms were kind of very just non-existent. So most officers just started making their way there. Wasn't very clear what was going on. Are they getting shot? Are they not getting shot? But apparently the Ravens, a Raven MC or something, had like executed someone, allegedly. We get there, shots are fired. I don't know exactly what happened on the ground. As Bell and Gravy had gone down, and we came in to clean up. Fast forward, and I was instructed by Bradford to arrest the victim. And I'm like, what? Well, first I GSR'd. Originally, no one said shit about who this guy was. And he told me, well, first off, he told me to get off. Well, so apparently there may have been shooters in the area. I was up on like a ledge to look down in case so we don't get jumped, because there was like 8 to 10 cops on duty. It was Sunday. And so he tells me to come on down. I'm like, all right, bet. Like, I'll do that. You know, if we get clapped, it is what it is. Not my scene. I go over to the 95 they want me to process. I go and GSR test, and it's negative. And I'm like, hey guys, this guy's GSR negative. What's going on with this guy? Because I didn't have visual of him up until, because I was from a distance. And Bradford goes, well, no, he's the guy that was shot, but you need to arrest him. And I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean? For what? Like, what do you mean? He's like, you know what? Let's just detain him and then figure it out. I'm like, okay. So I put him in cuffs, and to sort of protect myself and pretty much every other officer on duty, I did put him in cuffs, but I did not touch him beyond that, because even putting him in cuffs was kind of wild. We then go down to CMC, they get medical or whatever, and then Gravy gets up and he goes, they're like, oh yeah, that's my 95 from a much earlier situation.
What?
And then they arrested him and brought him to jail and processed him.
What?
So I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm gonna be real, but shit be cooked. I in that situation, once again, cut out a conversation, etc., etc. But this is kind of one of those things where I hope y'all kind of somewhat understand my perspective here. Is like there's questioning why something happened. This is a situation where motherfuckers like in both those need to be sat down and trained. And I'm not in a position to be doing that. But I will write both down in a private report. You know. Oh, wait, it gets worse. That individual, as he was my quote unquote 95/victim/ under arrest until Gravy got up and said he was had a warrant and shit.
Oh my god.
It tells me that he was shot up by locals. And I brought this up in the circle. I'm like, guys, what are you? I was like, guys, how are you gonna? What are you planning on doing? This guy's fucking like, because my reaction was, well, this is one of those situations, guys. We're kind of screwed here, I guess, because that guy's saying he was shot up by locals. And I was like, well, so what do we want to do? And they're like, well, it's still. Bell goes, well, it's still officer discretion, right? We're gonna arrest him for blah blah blah. And I'm just like, all right, bet I'm getting off duty. Because you get what I'm saying there, right? Like, this guy is now, are we pushing any charges in good faith? I mean, you might be like, I hate to say this is San Andreas. There are charges that would be valid, but now you can't really turn a non-victim into a victim. They have powers to not press charges. And just because we're hoping they don't bring it to court, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go talk to them. I don't like that.
Yeah.
If was the person, I need to know things like, were they legally detained? If so, they're underneath our care. I have questions.
We got very lucky as they were very, let's just say, chill, and they assumed that they were all gonna go. There was probably a lot of they were pretty chilled out, so they didn't fight. But holy fuck, it was that bad, right? Like, it was like,
yeah. I'll go talk to them because I want to find out what that's all about.
yeah, okay, so
Okay.
Yikes.
yeah, okay. Well, that's all I got.
That's all you got,
Okay.
Knight? Is that
Sure.
it?
I think so.
Okay.
Perfect.
Well, I have
I still
something
don't know
for you
what's
guys.
going on with my pursuit vehicle, but
Is
that's
it
another
food?
matter. Not that I give a
No.
shit anymore. I asked for our vehicles to get better.
And what have you got, Opal?
I'm kidding. That didn't actually happen. I'm just carrying on the meme. I'm letting it linger in their head.
Transfer? Is he get to transfer over?
That didn't
This is
actually
for
happen.
Peters and Magnolia.
But I just
Yeah, if,
Listen,
I was just waiting for somebody to.
I can't
to
help
sign
but
it off. It
adding a
sounded
little
like
bit of
Mum and Dad
humor
were having an
to a
argument in
situation that's
the
kind of,
reports,
tense.
and I was not wanting to get involved.
Me neither.
But yeah, I would love Cade and Quangle. Sorry, Cade. Sorry about that. Yeah, if Mum and Dad have finished fighting, let's just go for it.
Okay. You want me to tell him, or are you guys gonna?
Can I gaslight him?
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Especially because he's the only one that brought a 95 to BCSO after Quangle said to bring him to MRPD. That's actually really funny. By the way. Okay, Quangle was like, "What
Okay.
the hell are you doing up there?" And then he said something. He's like, 10-3. He didn't listen to
my
him.
goodness.
I was cracking up. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to talk to him. I'm talk to Bradford and Gravy, and Maxwell, you'll do the captain chat.
Yeah, I'll figure out how to. Yep.
Okay.
Can't wait.
All right. No,
Yep.
this is cool. Let's solve some problems.
Yay. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I may get to
Thanks,
that
Si.
report today, Maxwell.
Yeah.
Oh, Ruby, I did I did put kind of my statement in there, but I tried not to make it look bad in that incident, but
Okay.
it should allege to it or point to it, I guess.
Okay. No problem.
And then the
All
report
right.
I owe
Thanks,
you.
folks.
Yep.
Thank you.
The report I need to give you, it's either going to be done today or when I'm back on Thursday.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I'm not doing it while I want to be coherent.
I don't really want to approach him until I have the details from you. But I will mention it to the chief tomorrow that we're waiting for a statement from you and show him the warrant and just let him read it and see his thoughts on it.
Okay.
Just asked Opal and she's like, I already have my thoughts. Like she was already aware of it before she walked over here. She's aware of that warrant.
Yeah, there.
Am I dumb? Why are we saying we need possession to raid someone? Not possession. Sorry, we need pattern to raid someone. If I have enough probable cause to establish that they have a illegal firearm, even if it's just one and they don't have a pattern, I raid them. No, am I tripping? Am I like completely fucking high?
No. I told you I agree with you. The problem is there's standard cops, and then there's people that know how to articulate beyond SOPs.
But it's also the judges. Yes, but it's also the judges. Some judges want to see a pattern. You guys if you were in the room when Bailey and fucking Grayson were at each other's throat about fucking patterns and shit, about raiding, because a search warrant wouldn't be signed over.
Grayson is that guy that let Sam Bass die because I don't know. I get it. I've dealt with, I am probably. I'm not trying to be that guy. Like I've seen the heat. I've lost a lot of cases to dumb judges or ones that want to stand on a podium or whatever. But I don't mind pushing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it makes sense about the articulation. I'm just telling you that this specific thing too, Grayson refused to sign it because there was no pattern. He's like, how do we know whose house it has it? And we don't, how many. The Letson one was different, right? Because multiple people were found with medical equipment for the Letson situation.
That's why I get my warrant signed in the evening. I'm kidding. Not kidding.
Note taken.
I mean, since when is judge shopping illegal?
I mean,
it's literally what DAs do and defense attorneys, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm just confused on how this one was signed because of I don't know. He could have gone anywhere, and like Opal said, he only raided one property. How do we know that's the only property he put it in?
I agree that not putting the vehicles on it, but I do agree that if we removed all the other facts that he conveniently left out, I too would push for a raid where, let's say there.
Sorry, I missed it. What facts did he leave out?
Well, on the call, the individual that we're chasing, the bow guy, I know who it was because I was hyper focused on him. That was the only guy, right? The guy in brown. We lost him for a little bit. Like little bit, not even like it wasn't like fucking 20 minutes type shit. Like it was like we lost him, and then he came back and got in Luciano's vehicle. We identified him, same guy, same guy, same clothes, all that kind of stuff. And then Luciano drove for a while. I believe his car started smoking or some shit. And Luciano, who's in the vehicle with Bo, got out onto a jet ski, and Ventura was like, "Oh, he's on a jet ski," and then gave up. And in that moment, I was like, brother, why are we not apparently I forgot what it was, 78s? Do you remember what it was, Opal?
I was so cooked that day. I remember.
I don't remember. It was some serious shit. I just remember. We can go back and check, but it was some serious shit. And I remember thinking to myself, why the fuck are we just saying give up on Luciano because he got on a thing? That motherfucker is gonna have all the shit we're after. He's gonna have all the evidence. Fast forward, an hour, and we're raiding, and the raid warrant doesn't mention it. AKA Luciano had all the shit. That's why Bo doesn't have it.
Would have been.
Yep. It's the most logical thing to have happened. But to your point, Opal, I agree, and that if someone had something in their possession, and even if they disappeared for 5 minutes, I don't give a fuck what direction. If they are a target, high priority because of whatever reasons, I'm raiding their ass. They had it, now they don't have it. It's stashed. I'm kicking the doors in, right?
But what I feel like where he went wrong is he was too intent on narrowing it down to one property, and I think this is because of things like the Letson case where they're like, well, there's no articulation as to why it would be in that property specifically. What I need in a search warrant is 51%, more than likely. I don't need proof beyond a reasonable doubt. That is not what a search warrant is, right?
Yeah.
I need more than likely 51%. Now, guns are expensive, and we know this. You get a gun, you're not just gonna toss it, especially if you're gonna get it right. It is more than likely that he will stash it somewhere that he has access to. Now, that could be his own properties he has access to, a dumpster that he frequents, his cars. We don't know.
I agree.
But just narrowing it down to that one property, I feel like it looks bad.
Can we be real?
It looks bad.
Okay, let's be real here. CYPRESS and whoever have been getting in shootouts. He got horny to kick in what might have been a clean guy. That's it. And he left out critical information. And that's probably what happened. Or he got too horny and he became dumb. One of the two. And left it out.
Crazy.
I don't know, that's just like a me personal thing, but I feel like when you when criminals go through having a clean person who actually actively does shit in the city, comes around and shit, like I don't want to have like a cheap score at rating their shit, like I put an effort, like I wrote up a huge search warrant on Forehead and what I believe to be their clean warehouse. Ended up not going through with it because I got really busy, but like I put in so much time into that search warrant. I just feel like not a lot of people have that mentality of wanting to not take cheap scores and actually like gathering solid proof rather than flimsy proof.
Yeah, I agree. I think yeah, I agree. Well, it's a waste of time. Like investigating any, I hate no one should be investigated unless we have a lawful reason to believe that there is. I shouldn't say no one, but I'm being generalized here. Is we should have a legal reason to be looking into somebody. Otherwise, it's cringe, given the size of the city. And if we're building something up, right, and we have a reason for a target, we should understand going into it why those beliefs exist. And if we're sort of shortcutting those things, short-circuiting it, we're really just kind of, it's like ping chasing for raids in a way. We want an outcome. We don't know why the outcome exists, and we're just kind of gambling. Hoping, you know what I mean? Like we're pulling the fucking thing and hoping you got 3 lemons or however the fuck that shit works. But anyways, if in advance of this, if you want me to chat with the chief, I will put a report up. But if you need me to come and discuss it, I can do that as well.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe I'll reach out tomorrow then.
All right.
Let you know.
I'm out tomorrow. Yeah.
That's right. You're out tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, anyways,
Just drop a bomb and take a day off.
I've been on duty every day.
Okay, but you dropped the bomb today.
I know. I know. I couldn't. No one was around. Yeah.
All right. I'll bring it up to the chief and
Yep. All right.
See what he sees. Yum.
Easy.
Carmine was poking around today about the Bones incident.
No.
Okay.
What do you mean? I know he's let go, but
yeah. Well,
I mean, that dumb fuck let Tinker fly in for 5 minutes and got fired. I mean, Carmine kind of deserved it, to be honest.
okay, what does that have to do with what I'm talking about?
Well, because he doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking
about. No clue.
You know what? I fuck with you. Thank you. Thank you. You get where I'm coming from. Yeah, I don't know this shit.
Bones got fired. Well, you're sergeant. I can tell you. Bones got fired because he.
Yeah, he's a sergeant. Yeah, you could tell he's a sergeant. Yeah.
Bones got fired because I think it was
Thank you, Opal.
Someone on BCSO was transporting future Hendrix as a 95. Oh, Bean, yeah, that's right. As a 95, and Bones shot the car that they were transporting future in.
Huh?
Shot the tire out.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like SBS?
No.
Of course. How the fuck does that matter when you have a 95 in the car?
No, I mean with the 95.
He had one and they had one. Somebody had one and there was two. I think there was two 95s and he shot at the car in front of him or behind him, wherever, and it took out the tire.
Oh my! What?
But wait, it gets better. Carmine said he's trying to FOIA the report on behalf of Future. I was like, oh, are they suing? And he's like, well, you know, I am his representative. I don't know if we're going to the docket yet, but we just want the report. And he's like, and I don't think there's no report. Apparently, there's only an internal report. There's no fucking investigative report with evidence that I know of.
Carmine wants to sue me too.
Oh my God, is that why the mayor made us do our job? With that driver license fucking bullshit? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but if there's no report, there's no evidence. What do? You can't shit a report. It's over. It's already happened. It's gone.
No, yeah, they can. Yeah, of course they can.
Well, they could slap something together, but they're telling him that there's no report for him to FOIA.
So they have to.
That's all internal. That's what they told Carmine. So he's calling me, and I'm like, dude, this isn't even. Yes.
Wait, why are they not writing it? That's worse.
Yes. He went to Ventura and McNulty.
So let me get this straight. So Carmine can now go to and file a fucking thing, and that's going to look even worse that he approached them.
Can he FOIA their command report if there's a command report on it?
Technically,
I don't know if that
would be examined.
Technically, this is something that has kind of scared me a bit, to be honest. Technically, even if something is written by law enforcement, you can't just magically say it's internal, right? That's just a phrase that has been like, what's the word I'm looking for? Can he FOIA it? No. Can it be produced by a justice or a judge overseeing the court case? Yes.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So the problem is, the game can be played like, oh my God, it's internal. Oh, remember that dumb fuck who like wrote a private report and then got caught out and fired? Or that would be the exact same situation. So in theory, let's say Carmine went to court and requested on the docket for all related documents to be produced, and the police department did not produce that high command report. They'd be holding exculpatory evidence, which is criminal in nature. Now one could say, well, oh my God, it's internal. Well, no, because we are a police department. We work, we have to work in the law. If there's stuff in that report that needs to be redacted, that can be done and then sealed for the judge to read. We can't just magically hide shit.
There's no nobody got the evidence. There's no evidence.
Nice.
Yeah, but we know that it happened, right?
Yes, we have a photo of the officer's car being shot.
And it was written down, and he was, all these things.
One person's statement saying what happened in the high command. It was a sergeant who wrote it. That's why I'm sharing it.
Yeah, it gets even worse in the fact that, like, some of these reports, right? Like, if we're not even, let's say it's like intentionally or unintentionally leaving out like who is involved, and it prevents the defense from like being able to call those people up, right?
That's why I'm trying to understand, like, why is Carmine calling and pressing me? Like, should I go to the marshal? Should I this? And I'm like, I'm not telling you, like, if you're not getting something that you're asking for on behalf of your fucking client, then you need to do what you need to do. And he's like, well, can't you talk to them? Like, why the fuck am I going to their high command about a report that they should have had filed in their county and they don't? And now they're telling somebody they can't FOIA it. So it's fucking weird, but they're just going to say that I hate Blaners and that I'm after them. That's all they're going to fucking say. So.
Well, where did the crime take place that Future was arrested for?
I believe it was in. Hold on.
If you ever need me to get those guys to get the fuck out, I'll definitely do it. I mean, I got nothing to lose.
Get what guys out?
You know, if they're giving shit, I'll fucking kick them out. I'll go to that jewelry store, get the fuck out of here. And we're good. I'm good
this
here.
This report says so they tagged the original incident as downtown gunfight. So I really don't know where it happened. There's even in Bruce's statement, it doesn't say where the fuck it happened. He admittedly opened fire in Austin Bean's Interceptor. And Ventura also had said that he did it, but there's no report, no statement from him. No report, no evidence. Nobody got the casing. Arnold shot the mayor once and we had to collect the evidence and make a whole thing of it.
Yeah. I'm
not anyone would do that's not trying to sweep shit under the rug.
I mean, I'm not too pressed about like the bullets on the thing because like who knows what they were thinking, right? Like shit happens, they're just like shocked or whatever, and then it becomes
but they're
real.
Asking for it. So I don't even know what I got to talk to the chief tomorrow because I don't even know what to tell Carmine. Like I'm not trying to press them, but also,
if only we had two jurisdictions and they had to do something because they're under our thumb, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I need to talk to Doc. I think something's. I'm gonna talk to Doc about it. I'm gonna talk to Chief tomorrow. And I told Carmen to give me a few hours to deal with it, so I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow.
Yep, that sounds like a shit show.
I think it's fucked up. I don't like just fucking give it. He even said he doesn't think they're gonna do anything. I feel like if Future was gonna sue, it would already be fucking up. You know, for whatever reason, Carmine wants the FOIA. And Future's given him permission on his behalf to represent him for it. So he should have the right to the FOIA, right?
Yeah. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, they're going to screw themselves if Carmine knows what he's doing. So good for them. Carmine might not. So
Doc, are you available real quick? I think Doc has some info on this.
Did I mention I'm conflicted?
Okay, get out of here.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You might. I don't know if you are.
Well, I am, but I don't really.
When aren't you?
When am I not?
I don't know if we can talk about. I just wanted to tell you before I tell the chief tomorrow. But basically, Carmine called me today asking for the FOIA on the incident where Bones was released from, where he shot the car. And he spoke to Ventura and McNulty, and neither one would produce it and said it was internal, and there's no FOIA.
That's actually interesting. I've been in talks with Marshall Peters for about 2 weeks, I think, about how I think something should be done criminal-wise in regards to Bones, and I also pointed out last week there's no report on it, and given that, it feels very much like a cover-up by BCSO in that. Given that there was also, I believe it was Collins sent out a 311 telling people if they said anything to anyone about the Bones situation, they're going to be suspended.
Wait, who said that?
I'm leaving. Okay, Jesus fucking Christ.
What?
Bro, what the fuck is happening anymore? I think we have bro. You know, I really like.
Ruby, why are we recruiting scraps?
What?
Excuse me.
I don't know.
I was whispering that, sir.
It's a great question.
I was whispering that, sir.
Listen. I'll smack the fucking goofy out of you.
Okay, first off,
Listen.
So respectfully,
okay, hey,
you don't have
first
to-
off, no. Listen,
listen.
you are wearing